First of all, I try not to have any preconceptions about what's going to happen. I found that I was very disappointed and pushed myself ways. So what I always did was like blank my mind out and just start walking. I'd almost gotten myself to the point where I'd forgotten you were here. I'm going to work on it. Let's go right out to what's out in front of us. It's a series of events that, one, are blind to the future and the past, that are just carrying out the act at the moment. What they do at that moment affects the future, but only the next step. Then that next step affects the next step. It has no overall vision of what is going to come out, you know, what is going to happen. And we can stand here and bear witness to it at this moment. We can even conjecture into the future of what it's going to look like, but ultimately our pleasure comes in perceiving what is happening at this moment. I just can speed up a process before my eyes of something, a canvascape evolving and building. And one painting, then the next becomes an evolution. And then I can look at it and see what happened.
Daddy!
Whatty?
What the heck are you? You're laying down all the paintings that I like.
Really? Well, we'll just try to do that. Okay. Now, should I take a new reading? Thrust into the landscape. This is how I keep records of my paintings here, by numbers, and then I write on the end of this tube what number is rolled up inside the thing, and then trouble is usually I start stuffing things in tubes and I don't update what's written on the tube. There's that human variation that excites me. Like in drawing a line, there is perhaps pleasure in drawing a wavy line, but I get a lot more excitement out of trying to draw the line just as straight as can be, and then that variation that happens within it, rather than taking the ruler and drawing. Now, all those lines you see on my paintings are all hand-drawn. I've never drawn one with a ruler. As I moved across, repeated patterns kept reasserting themselves over and over again. I started to notice that pink, I kept seeing pink 25% of the time, and I saw yellow 50% of the time, and all these sorts of relationships started to build as I moved across. So it wasn't like I went to one spot. Those are all set up according to relationships that I determined as I walked there.
How did you paint this painting? Oh, yeah, you win.
Right. Sometimes it would be to the end, right? The way the light would start to stimulate me, or the feeling of the heat hitting against me as I was moving along, or certain smells. But most often, I think, was the plants, the flora. Okay. Okay, kitty. Okay. I start building a thing in my head, which is very stimulated by that out there. But it sort of works more with my painting, so it comes that I start to call my paintings canvascapes. Okay, ready to go. think that the element of surprise again. To me, you know, flying an airplane is a verification of the lack of surprise really that is in landscape, that really it's a repetition, a gradual transformation from one form or series of forms into another, which differentiates one area from another, but it's not like this is an area and that's an area and there's distinctly different. It's all variations of change from one area into another as you move, as it is also changing itself.
What do you mean, earn the right to have an experience?
Oh, there has to be a certain, not a certain, but there, it seems like an experience is made up of the approach to the experience and then the actual encounter. But, well, it's just like coming on a hike and coming to a place like this. If you could just be dropped in on a helicopter and sat here, you know, nothing would happen. You would miss the whole, in a sense, earning the right to the experience that you get here. And I guess I would like to make paintings someday that I can just really just watch happen. From watching a phenomena develop and evolve. At certain points, at any point that is arrived at, there's a certain selection of directions that can be gone, and that can either be chosen by me, or I can set up a system in which it will be chosen for me.
But does the idea of a system seem alien to what seems random, or do you sense systems happen?
Oh, this is systems.
How so?
It's laid down. The rock got here according to a system of laying down in layers, one on top of the other, systematically laying down, and a system of uplift and a system of erosion, all adhering to laws that are set up, following events. But there's no overall view of what the events are going to be. It's one event then determines what will happen in the next. And this is the reality of nature that I have started to understand, and that I think can be used in the making of paintings. When they're right is when it's right painting them. When it's over, it's like a still photo of the thing, you know. But what happened to me? That painting was an experience of starting with an empty canvas, and then the thing happened and was built up and finished, and that's the end. And then it goes into a tube.